I am Natasha Busst, and this is Nightline, the top stories. 6 areas across 6 states record unhealthy API readings. And pregnant woman among 3 killed in Indonesia boat blaze. Good morning. We begin Nightline with this story. The Indonesian Navy confirmed that all passengers aboard the KM Barcelona passenger ship that caught fire in North Sulawesi waters on Sunday afternoon have been safely evacuated. Commander of the Indonesian Navy's Fleet Command, Vice Admiral Dene Hendrata, said 280 passengers were evacuated by rescuers. However, 3 of the passengers, including a pregnant woman, died due to smoke inhalation. The boat was sailing off the coast of North Sulawesi before the blaze broke out at about 1:30 p.m. local time. Panic erupted on board when thick black smoke began billowing from the lower decks. Harrowing footage showed passengers, many in orange life jackets, leaping into the sea amid screams on chaos. The cause of the fire remains unknown. Now, in a viral video circulating on social media, one of the survivors who had jumped overboard captured the terrifying moment while clinging to a baby in his arms, gasping for breath and shouting desperately for help as flames engulfed the boat in front of him.
Ada perahu kamari. Ada perahu. Ya Allah, ya Rob. Ya Allah. Kapal Tawakal. Ya Allah. Dapat juga siang. Kita tolong. Minta tolong ke siang. Orang ada di laut ini. Aduh, ya adik sabar nih. Sabar. Ada yang Om. Om! Om sini. Om ada bayi. Om! Tunggu. Ini ada pendengar.
6 areas across 6 states recorded unhealthy air pollutant index API readings as of 10 p.m. on Sunday. Nilai in Negeri Sembilan still records the highest API reading at 161. Other areas include Banting in Selangor at 155, Alor Gajah in Malacca at 154, and Johan Setia in Selangor at 153. Conditions in Putrajaya and Pahang also worsened, with the administrative capital recording an index reading of 148 and Temerloh at 128, while Cheras in Kuala Lumpur joined the list with a reading of 116. Meanwhile, 57 other areas recorded moderate levels, including 5 locations with readings above 90. The Meteorological Department of Malaysia, Met Malaysia, does not project any rain or changes in wind direction, which may help reduce the haze conditions in the coming days. Following this development, the Environment Department, DOE, has ordered all school activities outside the classroom to be immediately halted if the air pollutant index, API, exceeds 100. As for school operations, all schools, kindergartens and childcare centers will be immediately closed once the API reaches 200. In a statement on Sunday, DOE Director General Datuk Wan Abdul Latif Wan Jaafar said early preparations must be made for the closure of the affected premises if the readings continue to rise. The National Disaster Management Agency will activate the district, state and national disaster management committees if the index exceeds 150 for more than 24 hours. Cloud seeding operations will also be carried out depending on cloud presence and weather conditions. Meanwhile, the ASEAN Specialized Meteorological Center, ASMC, has activated a Level 2 Transboundary Haze Alert for the southern ASEAN region. The alert was issued following the rise in the number of hotspots and prolonged dry weather conditions in several countries. Level 2 is the second highest alert, indicating an increased risk of transboundary haze. According to ASMC, a number of hotspots have been detected in Peninsular Malaysia, Kalimantan and Sumatra, with localized smoke plumes also observed in central Sumatra. Dry weather is also expected to persist across most parts of southern Southeast Asia in the coming days. The prolonged dry conditions are expected to increase hotspot activities in fire-prone areas and could potentially lead to transboundary haze. The worsening haze condition poses a serious threat to the general public's health. University Kebangsaan Malaysia UKM Public Health Lecturer Dr. Sharifa Izzatwan Puteh, when contacted by Nightline, advised the public to take steps such as staying indoors and wearing a high-filtration mask if needed.
Not to be exposed so much in the outside environment, meaning that you go for sports or outdoor activities, but rather stay home. Try to be in a place where your environment has either air conditioning or a filter. And if you need so, you might have to use a mask when you go out to protect your breathing and so forth.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
The unity government continues to stand firm thanks to the shared principles and strong sense of solidarity among its component parties. Prime Minister Dato Sri Anwar Ibrahim expressed gratitude for the unwavering commitment shown by all parties in the coalition, which he said has been the key to the government's strength and ability to serve the people. Speaking at the Kenduri Rakyat program held in conjunction with the Madani Ukwa program in Kampung Pacitan, Port Dickson on Sunday, Anwar described the level of cooperation among the parties as extraordinary, despite efforts by certain quarters to cast the unity government in a negative light.
Orang tafsir di luar tu lain. Tapi bekerja saya sebagai yang diamanahkan sebagai PM, saya syukur Alhamdulillah kerana walaupun kita ini gabungan parti-parti dengan pendirian masing-masing dalam beberapa hal, tetapi semangat untuk membangunkan negara, kesepahaman itu luar biasa.
Also present were Deputy Prime Ministers Datuk Sri Ahmad Zahid Hamidi and Datuk Sri Fadila Yusof, along with 143 cabinet members and members of parliament. The event was aimed at strengthening ties between government leaders and the public in a relaxed and inclusive setting that celebrated unity and togetherness. On the same stage, the Prime Minister reiterated the government's commitment to advancing the nation's prosperity while prioritizing the welfare of the people in line with the Malaysia Madani principles. Anwar acknowledged that despite encouraging macroeconomic indicators which reflect positive trends, challenges persist at the grassroots level. The Prime Minister stressed that the unity government remains committed to listening to and understanding the voices of the people.
Dan kita sebagai kerajaan Madani yang prihatin, kena dengar di bawah. Jadi bila dengar ada sedikit keresahan, kita cari jalan cuba meringankan. Inilah yang maksud kita bila kita santuni.
Later on Sunday night, Anwar, who is also PKR president, met with nearly 1,000 Negeri Sembilan PKR members in Port Dickson as part of his presidential tour. The closed-door session was also attended by PKR Vice President Dato Sri Aminuddin Harun, who is also Negeri Sembilan Menteri Besar, along with Party Secretary General Dato Fuzia Saleh, Women's Chief Fadlina Siddiq, and Youth Chief Muhammad Kamil Munib. Anwar later held a separate closed-door meeting with PKR division heads in the state. When met by reporters after the meeting, Fuzia said the program is part of a nationwide tour aimed at strengthening party solidarity and reuniting grassroots leadership across the country. A prominent religious scholar from Kelantan has warned that a frequent change of government was not in line with Islamic values. Sheikh Wazir Che Awang Al-Maki Hafizahullah explained that constant shift in government could not only affect economic stability, but could also disrupt the lives of the people. Sheikh Wazir, who is also the advisor to Kesatuan Pondok Kelantan, expressed hope that the unity government under Datuk Seri Anwar Ibrahim will remain until the end of its term.
Kita di Malaysia ni 5 tahun satu kerajaan, 2 tahun satu kerajaan, setahun satu kerajaan, dasar berubah, pondok pun lemah, pondok pun malap, segala-gala malap, ekonomi malap. Ini bukan cara Islam.
He said this during a talk at Masjid Putra in Putrajaya on Saturday night. His comments come amid efforts by certain quarters said to be planning a gathering in the capital on July 26, allegedly aimed at unseating the Prime Minister. The Malaysian Border Control Agency, MCBA, has fully resolved the technical disruption that affected the country's border control system. Its Director General, Datuk Seri Muhammad Shuhaili Muhammad Zain, said normal operations have resumed at all main entry points nationwide. According to Shuhaili, a total of 380,000 international travelers were affected by the disruptions at the Sultan Iskandar Building Customs, Immigration and Quarantine CIQ complex in Johor over the past 2 days. Travelers passing through Kuala Lumpur International Airport Terminals 1 and 2, as well as the Sultan Abu Bakar CIQ complex, were also impacted. He explained that the recovery work was carried out in stages starting Saturday, with the system fully stabilizing by Sunday.
Kita amat kesal dengan apa yang berlaku dan kita pun tidak mahu perkara tersebut berlaku. Orang panggil apa? Murphy's Law dalam konteks teknikal lah. So apa yang berlaku ialah sistem MyIMS yang sepatutnya diintegrasikan dengan satu sistem keselamatan oleh pihak berkuasa antarabangsa itu bukan breakdown tetapi menjadi masalah capaian.
When asked whether the disruption could have been caused by sabotage, Shuhaili said the matter is still under review and he does not wish to make any assumptions. The issue resulted in delays in carrying out security screenings on foreign visitors. Following this, all inspection counters and manual lanes were fully activated with additional personnel deployed to expedite the entry and exit processes. The Road Transport Department, RTD, will expand the enforcement of seatbelt use to include buses owned by higher learning institutions and fully residential schools. RTD Director General Dato' Aidi Fadli Ramli said the department will collaborate with the Higher Education Ministry and the Education Ministry to conduct phased inspections starting next month. Previously, the enforcement was solely focused on tour and express buses. Aidi Fadli added that since most higher learning institutions and boarding schools have their own buses, the department wants to ensure these self-maintained vehicles meet safety standards and that their drivers comply with regulations. RTD technical teams and state enforcement units will also be deployed to ensure passengers use seat belts on these buses. Buy Now, Pay Later, or BNPL, is booming in Malaysia, but as more youths jump in, so do the concerns. Are these worries justified or just a misunderstanding? TV3's Nurin Razmin digs deeper into these digital spending surge.
Once seen as a niche payment method, BNPL is now deeply embedded in our everyday purchases. Now, new data shared exclusively with TV3's Nightline revealed just how significant the shift has been. In the first half of 2025, Malaysians made over 102.6 million BNPL transactions, a 22.4% increase compared to the second half of last year. The total value of these transactions reached 9.3 billion ringgit, with 40% of those transactions coming from users aged 30 and below. But does this boom come with a cost? Bank Negara Assistant Governor Abu Hassan Al-Shari bin Yahya believes there is more context to consider.
When we look at the Buy Now Pay Later, in terms of the outstanding amount, end of the period, for example, end of June, this year, the amount was 3.8 billion. So that 3.8 billion basically only represented about 0.2% of our household indebtedness.
But regulators remain watchful. With more credit providers entering the market, most of them unregulated, authorities say safeguards must be put in place.
So because of that, we need to actually have some kind of overarching law for us to look at how we can protect the credit consumers in a more uniform manner. So that's where why we also see that it's a timely for us to come up with a law that can actually have a standard.
Now that law is the upcoming Consumer Credit Bill 2025, which will regulate BNPL providers, introduce conduct standards, and ensure transparency. Meanwhile, data shows young users are still vulnerable. More than 86,000 youths had overdue BNPL payments. They made up 51% of all unpaid accounts, with an average outstanding amount of 655 ringgit each. Financial Planning Association of Malaysia President Alvin Tan says oftentimes the risk stems from a lack of basic financial awareness.
Many of them actually fail to see the smaller amount that the debt they actually accumulate. Of course, you see, 50 ringgit a month may not be a big thing, but many of them actually miss that by spending 50 ringgit a month for one item, plus another 50 ringgit for another item, and they actually snowball to a bigger thing.
He also believes the solution lies in early education.
I think our government should look at incorporating all this financial literacy program as early as primary school, for children to understand how basically risk work, what's budgeting, how debt works, so that again when they go to adulthood, they are really equipped with all this basic understanding.
Buy now, pay later isn't inherently bad, but when used recklessly, it can be a fast track to financial regret. With new laws on the way and growing awareness, it's now time to spend smarter and protect future generations from hidden debt traps. Nurin Razmin for Nightline, TV3.
Police tracking down man who fired gun in robbery attempt. More from the local front after this breather.
Pertama kali saya terjebak dengan pembuatan keju ni, di mana susu kambing yang banyak dan berlaku pembaziran.
Ada daripada customer kita yang terkejut sebab saya bagi tahu kata cheese ni mai daripada orang kita sendiri, daripada negeri Kedah.
Saya mulakan tradisi tetamu sebelum datang, mereka harus siapkan pantun.
Kalau ada umur yang panjang, boleh kita berjumpa lagi.
Orang muda patut tunjuk vibe-vibe macam ni supaya dia lebih dekat dengan suasana kampung.
Mana lagi tempat-tempat yang debak dekat Korea ni ya? Jangan risau, idola K-pop anda sedia membantu.
오케이. 그럼 오늘 시합부터 포기하겠습니다. 국물이야. 보고 봐. 무조건 봤어. 이거.
Tripstagram setiap Rabu hingga Jumaat 11 malam di Cam Sarang TV3 dan stream juga melalui Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
이제부터 온 세상이 절대 모를 거예요.
Welcome back. Police have summoned 90 individuals to record their statements to assist in the investigation into the E-Hati marriage motivation program. Selangor Police Chief Datuk Hussein Omar Khan said the individuals include the program's facilitators, participants, and the company's staff members. He explained that a thorough investigation is being conducted, including into alleged rituals said to be contrary to Islamic teachings. Meanwhile, the lawyer for the company's founder, Dato' M. Reza Hassan, confirmed that his client was released on police bail on Saturday. However, the husband and wife duo is currently under investigation by the Selangor Islamic Religious Department, JIS. 4 others, including one of their children, were also remanded for 3 days on Wednesday. Police had previously confirmed the presence of lewd activities involving 4 individuals who were naked during the program. Police have identified the owner of a car driven by an 11-year-old child which skidded at Jalan Teluk Gong in Klang, Selangor on Saturday. Klang Selatan District Police Chief ACP Ramli Kasa said they have also identified the young driver and 2 other children who were passengers in the Proton saga. According to investigations, the main child involved was an 11-year-old boy who, along with his 7-year-old sibling, both held UNHCR refugee cards and were accompanied by their cousin, a Malaysian. Earlier, the children's mother had driven them from Northport to their older sibling's house in Teluk Gong. After arriving, the mother stepped out briefly to use the toilet, leaving the children inside the house. During that time, the 11-year-old boy took the car keys, invited his younger brother and cousin, and allegedly drove off to a nearby shop. He drove about 2 kilometers before losing control and crashing into a ditch. Police have recorded statements from the parents of the child driver and are investigating the case. Johor police are tracking down a man who fired a gun in a robbery attempt before fleeing in Sri Alam. In the Friday evening incident, the suspect entered a business premises while pointing a pistol at a victim and demanded cash. Sri Alam District Police Chief Assistant Commissioner Muhammad Suhaimi Ishak said the 7:10 p.m. incident was captured by a closed-circuit television CCTV camera at a nearby shop. The 31-second video, which was uploaded to social media, shows the suspect firing a single shot outside the premises before fleeing the scene on a motorcycle after the robbery attempt. No injuries were reported. The case is being investigated under the Firearms Increased Penalties Act for use or possession of firearms during a robbery. Driver charged after plowing into nightclub crowd. The details when Nightline returns.
Markas dadah terbongkar. Pot batu kuning diserbu.
Ini saya kubur ayah. Angka sampai tadi diorang semua kenal? Saya sampai sana pusing saya balik.
Waspada pelaburan tidak sah.
Ni, Papa tengah baca pasal pelaburan kripto ni. Kripto investment ni.
Saksikan 999 Selasa jam 9 malam di TV3 dan stream sekarang melalui Tonton.
Isu dadah semakin membimbangkan.
Betul, tambahan lagi dengan kewujudan pelbagai jenis bahan terlarang ini.
Paparan Selasa ketahui punca penyakit Alzheimer dan apa solusinya.
Mengalami situasi serangan kata-kata secara bersemuka mahupun dalam talian, apa hak anda?
Basikal raja jalan, apa peraturan yang wajar dipatuhi.
Jumaat, soal wang membincangkan penurunan kadar OPR, apa kesannya kepada anda?
MHI Isnin hingga Jumaat jam 10 pagi.
Eksklusif di TV3 dan stream di Tonton.
Unlocking the future of business.
From industry evolutions to policy changes, we go beyond the headlines.
Deep insights, sharp analysis.
Understanding the forces driving tomorrow's economy.
Key financial insights that drive decisions.
This is Money Matters, every Saturday, 5 p.m.
Only on TV3 and stream now on Tonton.
We're back with news from the foreign front. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba's ruling coalition has lost its majority in the upper house, according to local media projections following Sunday's elections, a major setback that could spell the end of his brief premiership. Ishiba's government was already forced into a minority following a humiliating defeat in the lower house elections last October, shortly after he took office and called a snap vote. According to the exit polls, his Liberal Democratic Party, LDP, and its partner, Komeito, secured around 41 of the 125 contested upper house seats, falling short of the 50 needed to retain a majority. National broadcaster NHK projected the LDP could win between 27 and 41 seats and Komeito between 5 and 12, making it difficult for the coalition to maintain control of the chamber. Despite the projections, Ishiba insisted he intends to remain as prime minister. In the U.S., a driver has been charged with assault after plowing into a crowd outside a nightclub in East Hollywood, Los Angeles, injuring 30 people early Saturday. The suspect, 29-year-old Fernando Ramirez, had allegedly been kicked out of the club before deliberately ramming his car into the crowd around 2 a.m. local time. Bystanders pulled him from the vehicle, beat him, and someone shot him before fleeing. Of the 30 people injured, 7 were in critical condition, 6 serious, and 10 suffered minor injuries. Ramirez is now hospitalized and undergoing surgery. He faces charges of assault with a deadly weapon, while authorities continue to search for the gunman. Sports now, squash and the 2025 Victorian Open. National men's player Muhammad Ad-Din Idraki Bahtiar has won his 8th PSA Tour Series title after a strong performance in the final against compatriot Nathan Quay on Sunday. The 31-year-old SEA Games gold medalist secured a 3-1 victory, winning 11-2, 11-4, 8-11, 11-3 in a match that lasted 46 minutes. Returning to competition after a lengthy layoff due to a shoulder injury, Ad-Din said he was both happy and proud of his comeback, especially after delivering consistent performances on the international stage. The win marks his 2nd consecutive title in 2 weeks, following his triumph at the Morrinsville Open in New Zealand, a clear sign that he's back to his best. Moving on to badminton and the 2025 Japan Open. It was heartbreak for Malaysia in Tokyo as both national pairs Gosefei Nur Izzuddin Muhammad Ramsani and Perlitan M. Tina fell short in their finals on Sunday, crushing hopes of a historic title and settling for runners-up. In men's doubles, defending champions Zefei and Izzuddin were outclassed 16-21, 17-21 by South Korea's red-hot duo Kim Won-ho and So Seung-jae. It was a statement win for the Koreans, who are now set to become world #1 for the first time, overtaking Zefei Izzuddin, who are expected to drop to 3rd after failing to defend last year's points. And it did not get better in the women's doubles. Perli and Tina's bid for a 2nd title this season and a historic first for Malaysia in Japan ended in defeat as they once again fell to Liu Shengshu Tan Ning 15-21, 14-21. Still, the silver lining, the duo have now made 3 finals in their last 6 outings, including a title win at the Thailand Open in May. Turning to cycling, the 2025 Tour de France. Dutch rider Tiemen Arensman claimed victory in stage 14 with a blistering solo attack through the High Pyrenees in terrible conditions. The Dutchman broke clear of a chaotic breakaway group on the 182.6-kilometer stage from Pau to Super-Bagné, holding off charges from Tadej Pogačar and Jonas Vingegaard, who finished 2nd and 3rd respectively in what's considered the queen stage of this year's tour. Pogacar, the overall race winner in 2020, 2021 and 2024, now leads Vingegaard by 4 minutes and 13 seconds, with Florian Lipovitz moving into third overall at 7 minutes and 53 seconds back. After 3 grueling days in the Pyrenees, riders next face a hilly stage 15 covering 169.3 kilometers from Muret to the medieval fortified town of Carcassonne. And that concludes Nightline this time around. Before we leave, let's take a look at cyclists racing through the alleys and staircases of Venezuela's Petare, where a downhill event aims to shed the neighborhood's dangerous reputation. With that, I'm Natasha. Thank you for watching and have a productive week ahead.